When people hear New Mexico, they think Santa Fe, and they think expensive. What they don't realize is that the rest of this state has the same adobe walls, the same wood beam ceilings, the same sunsets over the mountains, and prices so low they look like typos. This is a state with 300 days of sunshine a year, mountain air clean enough to taste, and land stretching so far in every direction that the only thing between you and the horizon is whatever you decide to put there. Ski towns in the mountains, desert valleys where the mesas turn red at sunset, and houses sitting on 5, 10, 20 acres where the nearest neighbor is a dot on the landscape. I found 10 properties. A house where the owner built the walls out of volcanic rock he pulled from the ground underneath it. A home in a ski resort town where people from Texas pay more for a weekend cabin than what this whole house costs. And at the very bottom of this list, almost 3,000 square feet with a stone fireplace for $20 a square foot. The list starts at $290,000 and goes all the way down to $59,000. I'm Joseph. I'm retired, and every week I pick a state and dig through listings until I find the ones that don't make sense. New Mexico didn't just not make sense. It made me rethink everything I thought I knew about what a house should cost. Subscribe to my channel Tiny Bucks Houses so you see them before everyone else does. The houses you're about to see get progressively harder to explain, and the last one might be the most surprising of all. This house has a problem. It doesn't know when to stop. Every time you think you've found the last room, there's another one around the corner. 3,200 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and 10 acres of New Mexico outside, where the only thing moving is whatever the wind picks up. All one level with a pitched metal roof overhead. The kind of house that somebody built once, then added to when the family got bigger, and then added to again because the land said they could. The kitchen sets the tone. Wood cabinets wrapping every wall, tile countertops, a built-in oven, and a ceiling that vaults up with wood planking and a fan turning underneath. There's room here for 2 people to cook a holiday dinner without ever crossing paths. And the dining area opens right off the counter so the conversation never leaves the room. From there, the house starts proving its point. The main living room has vaulted ceilings with exposed wood beams running across, wood paneling on the walls, and windows that let the New Mexico light do whatever it wants with the space. A second living area sits off to the side. Hardwood floor and a wood-burning fireplace built into a full brick wall. This is the room where the evenings happen, where somebody lights the fire and nobody moves until it's out. And just when you think the house is done, there's a third sitting area around the next corner, quieter, simpler, tucked away for whoever needs a room that nobody else is using. 5 bedrooms. The primary has a vaulted ceiling, bookshelves built into the corners, and the kind of quiet that only 10 acres can give a bedroom window. The others spread throughout the house, each with its own ceiling fan and its own door to close. 3 bathrooms means nobody's waiting and nobody's sharing. A separate laundry room with front-load machines already in place. Now step outside, because indoors was just the warm-up. A 3-car garage and a separate RV space. Park everything, store the tools, and still have room left for whatever project you've been putting off. There's a horse corral if you keep horses, a chicken house if you want eggs in the morning, a shed, a well house, and both yards fully fenced. But the spot where you'll actually spend your time is the covered patio. Red steel posts holding up the roof, tile under your feet, room for a table and a grill, and a full evening under the New Mexico sky without going anywhere. The house gave you the space. The patio gives you the reason to use it. Now let me show you where this is. About 1,000 people sitting next to the second largest lake in New Mexico. 13 miles of water, fishing that people drive across state lines for, and 250,000 visitors every summer who come for the boats and stay for the sunsets. The town has a grocery store, gas, and everything you need day to day. Tucumcari is 20 minutes down Route 66. Amarillo is an hour and a half when you need more. But most people who live here picked Logan because of that lake, and it's close enough that you could throw a line in before breakfast and still be home for coffee. So here's what you're getting. A house that keeps going when you think it's done. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a fireplace, garages for everything, a corral, a chicken house, a covered patio, and 10 acres with nothing on the horizon but sky. $290,000. The first house was exactly what you'd expect from a good deal, but the next one is where things started getting a lot more interesting. You see this house from the air, and it looks like somebody dropped a lodge in the middle of the desert and forgot to come back for it. Brown adobe walls, a pitched roof, and in every direction, flat-topped mesas and mountain ridges stacked one behind the other under the kind of sky that doesn't fit in a photograph. 2.5 acres, 4,300 square feet, and the first room you walk into has a stone chimney rising from the floor all the way to the ceiling. That chimney is fieldstone, real rock, heavy, wide at the base and tapering as it climbs, with a wood-burning stove sitting on a stone shelf at the bottom. The room around it has soaring vaulted ceilings with exposed vigas running across the top, weathered wood plank walls, polished tile underfoot, and ceiling fans turning slow in the warm air. This room doesn't have a fireplace as a feature. The fireplace is the room. Windows on two sides pull the mountains straight inside, and the light changes every hour as the sun moves across the valley. You could put 20 people in here and it still wouldn't feel full. Step through and the house keeps opening up. A second living area has a full wall of natural fieldstone, floor to ceiling, uncut, unpolished, stacked by hand. There's a room with hardwood floors and large windows where the mesas sit right there on the other side of the glass, like a painting nobody hung. Arched doorways and niches carved into the walls. Classic New Mexico details that builders stopped putting in because they take too long. The kitchen matches the house. Wood cabinets with turquoise blue tile trim on the countertops, stainless steel appliances, tile floor, and a window over the sink where the view is better than most people's vacation. Next to it sits a custom-built island, finished in black with decorative black and white tile and an arched mirror framed in wood above it. The kind of detail that somebody designed on purpose because they wanted this kitchen to feel like more than just a place to cook. 5 bedrooms spread across 2 floors, some with skylights cut into the ceiling that let shafts of light drop straight in, some with wood trim and arched doorways, all of them with enough room to breathe. A staircase with a wood banister connects the levels through split-level transitions that give every part of the house its own feel. 3 full bathrooms, one with a double vanity off the staircase, the others simple and clean. Nobody's waiting and nobody's sharing. Now walk out to the deck, because this is the moment the listing can't prepare you for. A wooden deck with dark railings, and on the other side of that railing, nothing. Just valley, mesas, and mountains fading from green to brown to blue until they disappear into the sky. This is not a backyard view. This is the kind of view that national parks charge admission for, and you'd be standing on it every morning with a cup of coffee in your hand. Now, let me show you where this is. About 9,000 people in western New Mexico, right off Interstate 40, one of those classic Route 66 towns that still has everything you need close to home. But step outside town, and the landscape changes into something most people only see in documentaries. Ancient lava fields stretching for miles, sandstone cliffs where Spanish explorers carved their names 400 years ago, and you can still read them today. An 11,000-foot mountain to the north. You'd be living in the middle of all of it. So here's what this house is. Stone walls, vigas overhead, a turquoise kitchen, and a deck where the mountains are the only thing on the schedule. Over 4,000 square feet of adobe on 2.5 acres. The next property sits on 20 acres of forest, and somehow that's only the second most interesting thing about it. The address is Ice Caves Road, and before you even see the house, the driveway pulls you in through 20 acres of forest on a gravel path that winds between the trees like it's making sure you're serious about finding what's at the end of it. What's at the end of it is a wood-sided house with a new metal roof, solar panels catching the sun, and pine trees standing guard on every side. From the air, this property looks like a compound in the middle of a green ocean. The forest runs to the horizon in every direction. A barn sits to one side. A red shed is tucked between the trees, and the house sits at the center of it all, like it grew there on purpose. Walk inside, and the first thing you see is the wall. Not drywall, not plaster. Lava rock. Volcanic stone pulled straight out of the ground underneath this property, stacked floor to ceiling by the person who built this house. And here's what makes it more than decoration. An atrium rises next to it, angled skylights and glass panels overhead. And when the sun comes through that glass and hits the rock, the stone holds the heat and gives it back all night long. The house heats itself. Passive solar built into the bones of the building, using material that was already here before anyone showed up. The main living room has warm hardwood floors, orange and terracotta walls, and the kind of light that only comes from a room designed to let the outside in. Upstairs, a loft overlooking the atrium with built-in bookshelves and wood paneling under the roofline. You stand up there and look down at the rock wall and the light pouring through, and it feels less like a house and more like someone's life project. The kitchen has honey oak cabinets, stainless steel fridge, gas range, and a dining area right there in the room so nobody eats alone. 2 bedrooms, the primary on the main level with wood paneling and natural light, the second upstairs in the loft where the ceiling slopes down and the built-in shelves make the room feel like a cabin inside a cabin. There's room up there for a 3rd bedroom or an office if you need it. 1 bathroom with a tub and shower. Simple, clean, does the job. With a house this connected to the outside, you're not spending your time in the bathroom anyway. Now step out and see what 20 acres actually feels like. A fire pit under the trees with chairs around it. An outdoor table where lunch turns into dinner because nobody wants to go inside. A barn big enough to store equipment or set up a greenhouse, and the bones for one are already there. A 2,000-gallon water tank fed by a rainwater collection system and a cistern. A gray water recycling setup. This property doesn't just sit on the land, it runs on it. Now let me show you where this is. About 500 people at 7,000 feet elevation in western New Mexico. Cool summers, real winters, and air so clean your lungs notice the difference the first morning. The reason this road is called Ice Caves Road is because there's an actual ice cave and a volcano at the end of it, Bandera Volcano, where you walk down into a lava tube and find ice at the bottom that hasn't melted in thousands of years. El Morro National Monument is minutes away, a sandstone cliff covered in carvings left by Spanish explorers, settlers, and native peoples going back centuries. Cibola National Forest wraps around the area. This is one of the most quietly extraordinary corners of New Mexico, and most people have never heard of it. So here's what you're getting. 20 acres of forest, a house built out of the land it sits on, lava rock walls, solar panels, rainwater collection, and a passive solar atrium that heats itself. A barn, a fire pit, and an address on a road named after an ice cave. $249,000. The next house drops below $200,000 and somehow delivers more character than homes twice the price. Most houses try to look Southwestern. They stick a tile accent somewhere, paint one wall terracotta, and call it a day. This one didn't have to try. It was born this way. Stucco walls, flat roof, arched doorways in every room, and a fireplace with a navy blue surround, black and white star-patterned tile, and small arched niches built right into the wall above it. 2,500 square feet of real New Mexico on a full acre of land. The living room sets the feel right away. Hardwood floor, leather recliners, a ceiling fan turning overhead, and that fireplace anchoring the whole room with a fire already going behind the tile. The arched doorways lead you from one space to the next in a way that makes the house feel like it was built in curves instead of corners, and every window you pass has something different on the other side of it. Mesas, desert floor, a sky so wide you stop noticing the walls. This house has air in it, space between the rooms, light coming in from every direction, and a floor plan that breathes. The kitchen has dark navy cabinets, butcher block countertops, black appliances, and a chandelier hanging over the dining area where the peach-colored walls catch the afternoon sun. There's a windows right over the table, and on the other side of that glass, mesas sitting on the horizon like they've been waiting there since before the house was built. The kitchen opens straight into the living room, so the whole center of the house stays connected. 3 bedrooms, each one painted its own color, each one with enough room for a full bed and furniture without the walls closing in. The primary has its own bathroom with a dark wood vanity. A second full bathroom handles the rest of the house. Tub, tile surround, natural light. Both clean, both ready. And then there's the room the garage used to be. Somebody converted it into a wide-open bonus space. Gray floor, ceiling fans. Right now it's being used as a workshop, but this room could be anything the next person needs. A 4th bedroom, an office, a gym, a studio. That's almost 500 extra square feet just sitting there with no instructions. Step outside and the acre opens up around you. A gazebo with a metal roof and a picnic table underneath, the kind of spot where dinner happens outside because nobody wants to eat indoors when the sky turns pink and orange over the mesas. The lot is flat, the land is fenced, and horses are allowed. New electrical wiring through the whole house. New water heater. The structure is solid and the expensive stuff is already taken care of. Now let me show you where this is. About 15,000 people right on the Texas border. El Paso is 30 minutes south with everything a big city offers. Las Cruces is 45 minutes north with hospitals and the university. And White Sands National Park, white gypsum dunes rolling like snow under a blue sky, is close enough for an afternoon trip whenever you feel like seeing something you'll never forget. You get the quiet and the space of New Mexico with a major city half an hour away. So here's what you're getting. A real Southwestern home with arched doorways, a tiled fireplace, butcher block countertops, a bonus room, a gazebo, and an acre of desert with mesas on the horizon. $199,000. The next house has one feature none of the others could offer, and for a lot of buyers, it's a game changer. A brick house, a swimming pool, and a workshop big enough to build a boat in, all for under $200,000. In a town 30 minutes from White Sands National Park. That's the listing. And somehow, nobody's taken it yet. From the street, it's a 1961 tan brick ranch on a corner lot. A circular gravel driveway out front, a couple of rocking chairs on the porch, mature shade trees keeping the sun honest, and a block wall running around the whole property. Clean, solid, and the kind of house that looks exactly like what it is. Somebody's home for a long time. Inside, the living room has carpet, ceiling fans, and enough space for a full set of furniture without crowding. Through the doorway, there's a second living area, and this one has a wood-burning stove sitting on a platform against a brick wall. 2 rooms, 2 moods, one for the mornings, one for the evenings. The kitchen is simple. White cabinets, tile counters, a gas cooktop, and everything you need without anything you don't. 3 bedrooms. The primary is big enough for a king bed with room on every side, ceiling fan overhead, and large closets with sliding doors. The others follow the same pattern: carpet, fans, curtains, space. Nothing fancy, nothing broken, just rooms that do what bedrooms are supposed to do. Now the bathrooms, and here's where the house shows its age in the best possible way. One is a clean tile shower, straightforward and functional, but the other is full 1960s original. Blue tile on the walls, a blue countertop, a blue bathtub. Head-to-toe blue, the way somebody picked it out 60 years ago, and it still works because they chose right. Some people would rip it out. Some people would realize it's the most interesting room in the house. Now walk out back, because the backyard is where this listing turns into something else. A covered patio with tile underfoot, a dining table with chairs, and a brick outdoor cooking area right there against the house. This room has no walls and no ceiling except the overhang, but it works like a room because everything you need for a full evening is already in place. And right past the patio, an in-ground swimming pool, rectangular turquoise water, concrete deck all the way around. In a state with 300 days of sunshine, this isn't a luxury. This is Tuesday afternoon. But the backyard isn't done. Sitting on the other side of the property is a Quonset hut, a full-size arched metal workshop with a garage door and concrete block walls at the base. Electricity inside. This is not a garden shed. This is a building where you park 2 cars, set up a full wood shop, store an RV's worth of gear, or run a small business out of. Now let me show you where this is. About 32,000 people at the base of the Sacramento Mountains in southern New Mexico. This is a real town. Grocery stores, hospitals, restaurants, schools, everything you need. But what makes Alamogordo different from everywhere else on this list is what's sitting right next door. White Sands National Park. Miles of white gypsum dunes rolling under a blue sky like something from another planet. People fly from across the world to see it. You'd be living 30 minutes away. Drive the other direction, and in half an hour, you're up in the mountains at Cloudcroft. Pine trees, cool air, and a ski area in the winter. The New Mexico Museum of Space History sits on a hill overlooking the town. This isn't the middle of nowhere. This is the middle of everything. So here's what you're getting. A brick house with a wood-burning stove, a covered patio, an in-ground pool, and a workshop most people would buy a separate property just to have. $185,000. The next house isn't the flashiest one in this video, but it might be one of the easiest to picture yourself living in. One owner for almost 30 years. That's the first thing the listing tells you. And when you walk through this house, you can feel it. Not because anything's worn out, because everything's been taken care of by someone who wasn't planning on leaving. From the street, it's a 1966 brick ranch. Warm tan brick with a stone accent pillar by the walkway, a mature shade tree covering the front yard like an umbrella, and a two-car carport along the side. 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, and a backyard wrapped in a cinder block fence that gives you the kind of privacy where you forget the neighbors exist. Step through the front door, glass blocks in the frame letting soft light through, and the living room opens up with carpet underfoot, a ceiling fan overhead, and room for a full set of furniture. But the moment that makes you stop is when you look past the couch and see what's separating this room from the next one. A full brick archway, thick, wide, structural, framing the passage between the living room and the den like a doorway from a different century. It's the kind of detail you don't see in a house at this price, and it changes the way the whole floor plan feels. Through that arch, the den has a wood-burning stove sitting on a brick and stone platform with herringbone wood paneling climbing the wall behind it, oak shelves and built-in cabinetry along the sides. This is the room where 30 years of evenings happened, and you can see why. The kitchen has honey oak cabinets from floor to ceiling on every wall. More storage than most houses twice this size know what to do with. Tile countertops, tile floor, black built-in appliances, and a window over the sink. It's dated in the way that solid things are dated. Nothing's broken, nothing's falling apart. It's just been here a while, and it's still working. 3 bedrooms, all with carpet, ceiling fans, and enough room to set up the way you want. The primary is the biggest with space for a king bed and furniture on every wall. The other 2 are honest, good size, good light, closets that work. Now the bathrooms. The full bath has a retro pink and tan tile tub surround. Original 1966, the kind of tile work that's either the first thing you change or the reason you fell in love with the house. Vanity with a mirror, clean, everything in place. The half bath is compact. Toilet, a small vanity, and a window that brings in natural light from above. It's tight, but it's smart. Washer and dryer are both included and sitting in a separate laundry area. Plug in and go. Out back, the cinder block wall gives you a flat, private yard with mature trees and a shed in the corner. On one side of the house, there's a covered patio. Concrete floor, brick wall behind, room for a table and chairs and whatever else you want to do with an evening that doesn't involve going anywhere. Now let me show you where this is. About 40,000 people on the New Mexico-Texas border. Cannon Air Force Base is right here, which keeps the town steady and the economy moving. Grocery stores, hospitals, restaurants, schools. This is a full-size town with everything you need. But here's the thing most people don't know about Clovis. 13,000 years ago, somebody was standing on this exact ground hunting mammoths, and the stone tools they left behind were found right here, giving their name to the Clovis culture, one of the oldest known civilizations in North America. And in a small studio on 7th Street, a kid named Buddy Holly walked in and recorded the songs that changed rock and roll forever. So here's what you're getting. A brick house with a full masonry archway, a wood-burning stove, oak cabinets from floor to ceiling, a private backyard behind a block wall, and 30 years of one owner's care built into every room. $157,000. The next house drops to $120,000 in a mountain resort town where most people can't find anything under $300. Ruidoso is a mountain resort town. Ski Apache in the winter, horse racing in the summer, pine forests all year round, and people from Texas driving 3 hours just to cool off for the weekend. Most houses here start well above $200,000. This one is $120,000, and it's sitting under the pine trees like it's been keeping that price a secret. From the street, it's a 1950 cabin-style ranch, gray and white siding, a Texas star on the front door, a decorative quilt pattern on the wall, and a carport off to the side. But the real curb appeal isn't the house. It's the ponderosa pines standing on every side of it, tall enough to block the sky and close enough to smell from the porch. The yard under those trees is the kind of place where you set up a chair in the morning and don't come back inside until somebody asks you what you want for dinner. Walk through the front door and the living room is bigger than you'd expect. Carpet, white walls, ceiling fans, and a fireplace with a stone and brick surround and a wood-burning insert glowing behind the glass. Built-in shelving wraps around both sides of the fireplace with barn door-style panels, rustic, intentional, and the kind of detail that tells you somebody thought about this room before they built it. But the thing you can't stop looking at is standing between the kitchen and the living room, a hand-carved spiral wood column, a barley twist post rising from the floor to the ceiling, dark and polished, turning the whole way up. It's structural and decorative at the same time, and there is nothing like it on any other house on this list. Somebody made this by hand. It's still here. The kitchen sits on the other side of that column. Wood cabinets, stone countertops, and a dark wood cabinet piece that anchors the space. Compact, but full of character. This is not a kitchen that's trying to be modern. It's a kitchen that knows exactly what it is. 2 bedrooms. The first has white walls, carpet, sliding closet doors, and enough space to spread out. The second is set up like an office. Wood paneling on the walls, shelving units along both sides, and enough room for a desk and a chair by the window. Whether the next person uses it as a bedroom or a workspace, the room is ready either way. And the bathrooms in this house are where the surprises start stacking up. One has a soaking tub with a gold-framed mirror on the wall above it. The kind of room you don't expect to find at this price in any state, let alone in a $120,000 cabin. The other has a stained glass window, yellow and green, handmade, set right into the wall where the light comes through in the afternoon and turns the whole room into something you'd find in a chapel. 2 full bathrooms, 2 completely different personalities, and both of them punching above their weight. Now let me show you where this is. About 8,000 people at 7,000 feet elevation in the Sacramento Mountains of southern New Mexico. Sierra Blanca rises to almost 12,000 feet right above town, and Ski Apache operates on its slopes all winter. Ruidoso Downs is one of the most famous quarter-horse tracks in the country. Lincoln National Forest wraps around the area. Trails, camping, wildlife. In the summer, the temperatures stay in the 70s and 80s while the rest of the Southwest bakes. People pay resort prices to spend a week here, so here's what you're getting. A cabin under the pines in a mountain resort town, with a hand-carved spiral column, a stone fireplace, a soaking tub, a stained glass window, and a price that doesn't match anything else in town. $120,000. The next house costs less than $90,000, and somehow the view looks like it belongs in a postcard. There's a room in this house with windows from floor to ceiling, and on the other side of that glass, a red mesa rises straight out of the desert like it was put there just for whoever's sitting in this room. You don't need curtains. You don't need art on the walls. The landscape does everything. $85,000. From the street, it doesn't shout. It's a 1935 stucco house, 80-something years old, quiet, tucked behind mature shade trees that keep the yard cool even when the sun is doing its worst. But the entrance tells you this isn't ordinary. Natural field stones stacked around the front gate with wrought ironwork between the stones. Somebody built this entryway by hand, 1 rock at a time, and it's still the first thing you notice when you walk up. Inside, the living room opens with tile underfoot, a ceiling fan overhead, and a fireplace with a white painted brick surround and a wood mantel. An arched doorway frames the passage to the next room, the same kind of arch you keep seeing in New Mexico houses because the people who build here learned a long time ago that curves feel better than corners. And then you walk into the sunroom, and the house changes. Tall windows with dark frames running the full width of the room, hardwood floor underneath, and through that glass, the desert opens up and the mesa sits there on the horizon, doing what it's been doing for 1,000,000 years. This is not a room with a view. This is a view with a room built around it. Morning coffee, afternoon reading, evening sunsets. This room handles all of it. The kitchen sits between the living spaces. dark upper cabinets, white lower cabinets, white countertops, a gas range, and a breakfast bar with stools along one side. There's a window above the counter, and even from here, the desert landscape is looking right back at you. Compact but complete. Everything in reach, nothing wasted. Step out back, and the yard opens up under the trees. Fenced, flat, with an outbuilding in the corner and the mesa still sitting right there above the fence line as the backdrop to everything. Public water, public sewer, paved road, all the basics are in place. Now let me show you where this is. About 2,500 people in the mountains of southwestern New Mexico, and Silver City is 15 minutes up the road. Silver City has a university, art galleries, restaurants, and the kind of downtown where people walk from shop to shop and know each other by name. But the real reason this part of New Mexico is unlike anywhere else is what's sitting in the mountains above it. The Gila Wilderness, the first officially designated wilderness area in the world. 3.3 million acres of forest, canyons, rivers, and hot springs. And inside it, the Gila cliff dwellings, where 700 years ago people built their homes into the side of a cliff, and you can still walk through the rooms today. Fort Bayard is right here in town, a frontier cavalry fort from 1866 that was home to the Buffalo Soldiers. This is a place with layers of history under your feet and 3 million acres of wilderness over your shoulder. So here's what you're getting: a 1935 stucco house with a stone entrance, a gas fireplace, a sunroom where the mesa walks right in through the windows, and a location 15 minutes from one of the most charming small towns in the Southwest. The next house drops below $80,000, and that's when this market gets really difficult to explain. $32 a square foot, 5 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, 2,500 square feet, and a separate efficiency apartment on the side that's already rented and already bringing in income. I had to read this listing twice, not because something seemed wrong, but because everything seemed too right for $79,000. From the street, it's a stucco and adobe house behind a decorative stone fence with sculptured pillars at the gate, the kind of entrance that looks like somebody built it for a courtyard in Old Mexico, not a house on 5th Street. Mature trees shade the front, a covered porch runs along one side, and tucked around the corner there's an enclosed side porch with windows on every wall that works like a sunroom, tile floor, light pouring in, and enough room for a table and chairs and whatever else the afternoon calls for. Walk inside, and the wood paneling hits you first, honey-toned, floor to ceiling, wrapping the main living room like the inside of a cabin. Hardwood floor underneath. Built-in display shelving with glass doors along one wall. A ceiling fan turning overhead. This room has been somebody's living room for a long time, and it feels like it. Warm, lived in, the kind of space that doesn't need staging because the character is already there. A second living area flows right off the first. More wood paneling, a built-in hutch, a dining table, and the kind of layout where rooms connect through doorways instead of hallways. The house keeps going, and every room you enter is bigger than the last one. The listing says huge rooms, and for once the listing is telling the truth. The kitchen is simple. White cabinets, white appliances, a gas range, and a tile backsplash. It does what a kitchen needs to do without pretending to be something it isn't. 5 bedrooms spread through the house, one with wood paneling and hardwood floor, the others with white walls, ceiling fans, and the kind of space where a king bed and a full dresser don't even start to fill the room. 3 full bathrooms, tile showers, clean, functional. 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms means a full family moves in and nobody fights over anything. Washer is included, and the laundry sits in its own utility room. The efficiency apartment has its own entrance and its own tenant already paying rent, so the house starts working for you before you even unpack. Step outside and the block wall fence gives you a private yard with trees and a covered patio area where evenings happen. There's a carport and RV parking for anything on wheels. The house is walking distance from Main Street, and here's a detail you don't see every day on this channel, the Amtrak station. You can walk to a train that runs from Los Angeles to Chicago and buy a ticket to either one. Now let me show you where this is. About 2,500 people on Interstate 10 in southwestern New Mexico. halfway between Tucson and Las Cruces, with both of them a couple hours away in either direction. But the thing that makes Lordsburg worth talking about is sitting just outside of town, Shakespeare Ghost Town, one of the best preserved ghost towns in the entire Southwest. No gift shops, no ticket booths, no recreations, just the original buildings from the 1870s still standing in the desert exactly where they were left when the silver ran out and everybody walked away. They open it up a few times a year for guided tours, and people come from all over the country to walk through it. You'd be living down the road. So here's what you're getting. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,500 square feet of wood-paneled character, a sunroom, a rented efficiency bringing in income, Amtrak walking distance, and a ghost town down the road. $79,000. But the last house is where the pricing goes from surprising to almost impossible to justify. I saved this one for last because every time I look at it I still don't understand how it's real. Almost 3,000 square feet, a stone fireplace, 4 bedrooms, and a price that sounds like somebody left a digit out, $59,000. From outside, it's a mustard stucco house on almost a full acre. Cottonwood trees, open prairie in every direction, a detached garage, a carport, and nothing on the horizon but sky. Inside, the living room stops you. Big windows on both sides, ceiling fan overhead, and a fieldstone fireplace rising from the floor to the ceiling with a wood-burning stove at the base. This room is big enough to lose your voice in, and the fireplace holds the whole thing together. Dark wood trim frames every doorway, hardwood in some rooms, concrete in others, waiting for whatever comes next. 4 bedrooms, each one bigger than the price has any right to allow. 2 bathrooms, simple and ready. The kitchen needs love. The house is as is. Some rooms are between what they were and what they'll become. But the walls have been standing since 1971. The stone fireplace isn't going anywhere. And at this price, you're not paying for perfect. You're paying for a chance. A 2-car garage, a carport, a full acre, natural gas connected, and seller financing available. Now let me show you where this is. About 2,500 people in the northeast corner of New Mexico. Quiet ranch country with a grocery store, a hospital, and the kind of neighbors who wave when they drive past. Texas and Colorado are both close when you need them. And just outside town, there's something you won't find anywhere else. Over 500 real dinosaur footprints pressed into the rock at Clayton Lake. 100 million years old and still there for anyone to walk up and touch. You'd be living 10 minutes away. I still can't explain how a house with a stone fireplace and almost 3,000 square feet ends up at $59,000. But it did. And it's still there. And that was New Mexico. 10 properties. From a 5-bedroom ranch on 10 acres by the lake to a $59,000 house with a stone fireplace and rooms that don't stop. Every house on this list is real and listed right now. If any of them stopped you, the links are in the description. Subscribe to my channel Tiny Bucks Houses so you catch next week's state before everyone else does. People think of New Mexico and they think of Santa Fe prices. They think expensive. After what you just saw, I think a few of you are going to start thinking differently.